Hello my dear students, welcome back to biology learning. In this video you will be learning the second chapter, that is respiration. That is the main energy producing system. First chapter we had learned about nutrition. Nutrition we had taken the food inside and that provided the nutrition. We also should get oxygen. Oxygen should reach to each and every cell of the human being for the proper functioning, for getting the proper energy. So that is called as respiration. Inhalation, that is respiration, is nothing but breathing in. What we are breathing in, the human beings, what we are breathing in is oxygen, and we are breathing out carbon dioxide. Inhaling process, that is breathing process, is called as respiration. So respiration has been derived from the Latin word, that is respire, and this respire is nothing but breathing in. What we are going to breathe in is oxygen, and the carbon dioxide is exhaled out. So this is the main energy producing system in the body. We will learn in detail about the respiration. Back in 14th century onwards, so many experiments were conducted by different scientists, Lavoisier and Priestley, and they did extensive work on the properties of gases. They even discovered what is respiration. Respiration actually means the exchange of gases. Respiration actually means breathing in of the oxygen and breathing out of the inhalation of the oxygen and exhalation of the carbon dioxide. It is nothing but exchange of gases. So Priestley, in his experiment, he helped us to find out more about the composition of air. Air consisted of many gases. It is the mixture of many gases. So that was found out by the eminent scientist by doing extensive work on the properties of gases. And they also found out what was produced by combustion according to Lavoisier, right? And what did Lavoisier find out about air from his experiments? So oxygen has to be present. In the presence of oxygen only, he found out that. And what conclusion can be drawn out from the Lavoisier experiments? All these things. And so when we just go through the history of this, so from his experiments he had found out which gas is necessary, what was produced by the combustion and all. And when we read a few lines from his textbook, that is Human Physiology, written by John Draper around the mid 19th century, it goes like this: that is, the chief materials which a living being receives are matter that can be burnt, water and oxygen gas, and out of the action of these upon one another all the physical phenomena of the life arise. What the body expels out is water, oxides of carbon, phosphorus, sulfur and others. So back in his book he had written already that whatever is coming out, that is carbon dioxide. From his words in that Human Physiology book, we can understand that whatever is exhaled, it consists of carbon dioxide. So we will see what is respiration. As I told, breathing is called as respiration. Respire, it is derived from the Latin word respire, and whatever we breathe in, that is called as respiration, right? First, breathing. First step of these are the events or steps of the respiration. These are the steps of the respiration. In this, first step is breathing, that is air movement into and out of the lungs. In and out of the lungs, inhalation and exhalation, everything we call it as breathing. And at the lungs level there is gaseous exchange, that is exchange of gases between alveoli and blood is happening. At the lungs level, exchange, that is oxygen is entering into the blood and carbon dioxide is from the blood is coming into the alveoli and then it is coming out of the lungs, right? So gaseous exchange at the lungs level is taking place in the next step, and the gas transport by blood. Transport, that is whatever oxygen was given into the from the alveoli, it was given into the blood capillaries and that gets mixed with the hemoglobin, that is transport of oxygen from blood capillaries of alveoli to body cells and return of the carbon dioxide. So gas transport by blood is taking place, that is oxygen is entering into the blood and whatever carbon dioxide from the body is there, that is coming out into the alveoli again, that has to come out of the lungs. And gaseous exchange at the tissue level, this is blood and at the tissue level, so exchanging of oxygen from blood into the cells and carbon dioxide from cells into the blood. So vice versa it is taking place. First oxygen from the blood is entering into the cells, from the blood it is entering into the cells and whatever from the cell oxygen is entering and from the cell the carbon dioxide is coming out. Oxygen is entering and carbon dioxide is coming out from the cell. This is called as gaseous exchange at the cellular level, at the tissue level. And what is finally the cellular respiration happens, that is using oxygen in the cell processes to produce carbon dioxide and water, releasing energy to be used for the life processes. So in this way the oxygen is used by each and every cell of the human body and thus producing the carbon dioxide and water as the byproduct and then releasing the energy for the complete life processes of the animals. So these are the events or steps of respiration. Now let's understand the breathing with a small experiment. Here two test tubes are taken and there is like exhalation of the air from the human nostril is shown here. Whatever is exhaled, if it is lime water, it turns acidic. It shows that it contains the exhalation of the air. The exhalation of the air from the human being consists of carbon dioxide because the lime water is turning acidic. Same way, if you take any other test tube and mix other gases, it will that lime water comparatively it will not turn that much acidic when it is exhaled. When the human being is exhaling, it contains carbon dioxide. That's the reason lime water is turning acidic. Yes. Hence the breathing is nothing but inhalation and exhalation, inhalation of oxygen and exhalation of carbon dioxide. As from this experiment we can conclude that this lime water is turning milky white in the sense it is acidic. That's the reason we can say that it contains more amount of carbon dioxide. The air which we are exhaling out, that is consisting of more amount of carbon dioxide. Whereas if we take any other air from outside, mixture of air, that doesn't turn out to be milky white comparatively to this. So we can conclude that whatever we are exhaling, that consists of carbon dioxide. From this experiment we can conclude that. Yeah, so this is the pathway of the air, and from nostril it is entering into the last, that is in the lung we have alveolus. So this is nasal cavity. Nostril is the first thing where we inhale the air and then it enters into the nasal cavity, and there is a pharynx, epiglottis. It is a flap like structure which is helping the air to go into the trachea itself. So whenever it is whenever air is not, whenever food has to be swallowed, it will allow it to go into the esophagus. Whenever air is coming in, it will allow it to go into the trachea. This is larynx and the trachea is present here. It goes as a two branches. It is extending as two branches to two different lungs. that is called as bronchi, and this bronchi is again spread as branches, that is called as bronchioles. In each lung it is spread as bronchioles, branches, that is called as bronchioles, and this structure is called as lung. And the last part where bronchioles are ending, those are called as, like the structures, those are called as alveoli, and these are the capillaries that are present, and in which oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange will occur. So this is the complete respiratory system, the sketch of the respiratory system of the man. Yeah, so first is nostrils. This air usually enters the body through the nostrils. Yeah, inhalation takes place through the nostrils. And next one is nasal cavity. Here hair-like structures will be present in the nasal cavity. Here initial filtering of air is taking place in the nasal cavity. That is the moist surface of the lining of the nasal cavity, and the hair growing from its sides remove some of the tiny particles of the dirt in the air. So initial filtration is happening in the nasal cavity. Initial filtration, that is with the help of hair-like structures, the tiny particles of dirt are removed from the air. Yeah, and air passes through the nasal cavity and its temperature is brought close to that of the body, and it takes up water vapor so that it becomes more moist than before. So once it is entering, the air is entering, it is becoming, the nasal cavity is becoming more moist. Then comes the pharynx. Warming and moistening air that goes into the common passage of digestive and respiratory system. So this is pharynx, so it is entering. It is the common passage for both food and the air. That is, it is the common passage for the digestive system and also the respiratory system. There is a epiglottis, a flap-like structure or a muscular valve that controls the movement of food and air towards the respective passages. That is, whenever air is entered, it closes this epiglottis and the air enters into the lungs. Whereas when food is swallowed, then this opens this flap-like structure and food is entered into the esophagus, right? So this is nothing but, it is the pharynx is the common passage for air and food. It is the common passage for digestive and respiratory system. Yeah, it is the common passage for the respiratory system and the digestive system. And larynx, next it enters into the larynx. It is the stiff box that contains our vocal cords. Yeah, when air passes out of the lungs and over the vocal cords, it causes them to vibrate. So whenever air is passing, it causes them to vibrate, and thus it produces the sounds based on our speech and song. Thus, that is the reason larynx is called as sound box. That is, whenever air is entering into the larynx, it produces it causes it to vibrate, and thus it produces the sound. On the basis of our speech, the sound output will be there. On the basis of our, if it is a song, a different type of sound output will be there. And then it leads to the trachea. Trachea is called as windpipe. So it is channeling air into the completely. This is the trachea, and it is channeling the air into the lungs. And yeah, when you touch your tongue, that is throat, you feel the tube-like structure is present. That is nothing but trachea. And then bronchus. It is this trachea, whatever trachea is there, it is dividing into two branches. Those are called as bronchus. One is going into the one lung, and the another one is going into the another lung. At its lower end, the trachea or the windpipe divides into two bronchi, one leading to each lung. Right, and then this bronchi is having further the branches. Those branches are called as bronchioles, right? Alveolus. Finally this bronchioles are ending into clusters of air sacs. Like this, air sacs are present. Those are very small air sacs are present, and there numerous amount of air sacs are present, and the gaseous exchange happens between